Hey there, Erin Lee here of VancouverIslandPsychic.com, bringing you the weekly psychic and angel card readings for Monday, April the 20th to Sunday, April 26th, 2015. As usual around here, I'm changing things up again. So this week, instead of doing one general reading and then 3 crystal readings at the end, each crystal gets its own full reading. So in the next section, I'm going to ask you to choose a crystal that's going to represent what's coming up for you this week, and you'll have a full reading based on the crystal that you've chosen. But what I can tell you is everybody this week needed to take some downtime Monday and Tuesday. So be sure to find out what else came up for you and stay tuned. So your crystal choices for the week are Seraphinite, Rose Quartz, and Aquamarine. All right, so if you've chosen Seraphinite for the week, the card deck we're going to use is Doreen Virtue's Archangel Oracle card deck. Seraphinite is really about connecting with the angels. So if you were drawn to Seraphinite this week, the message that's coming up for you is to make sure that you are connecting with your angels. Let's see what other messages come up for you. So the first card is for Monday and Tuesday, and the message that's coming up is Archangel Raphael, and he says healthy lifestyle. Eat a healthful diet, get adequate sleep, and exercise regularly for optimal health. Now, it's really interesting because it seems to me that Archangel Raphael and the lifestyle card has recently come up for us. So if you've chosen Seraphinite this week, the message that's coming up for you through the beginning of the week is to really make sure that you're taking time to pay attention to your diet, nutrition, exercise. As we start to move into the spring season in this half of the world, there's a lot of energy and motivation that's coming up to get back into the swing of things and get back into shape and also back into our regular healthy habits and patterns. And so really the message that's coming up for you through Monday and Tuesday is to start getting on track. The other message that's coming in as I say that is if that's something that you've already been working on, as I said, it's a message that's been coming up for us in the last couple of weeks, so you might already be on track with that. The encouragement is to keep with it, to stick with it, that you're doing a really great job and to just kind of keep moving forward. It feels like there's a certain amount of physical detoxification that you're going to be going through this week. So make sure that you're taking time to really nourish yourself, and water is really, really important. So make sure that you're taking care of you. Looking at Wednesday and Thursday, the message that's coming up is clairaudience. This is Archangel Zadkiel, and he says, notice the loving guidance you hear inside your mind or from other people. So really important as we move into the middle of this week, if you've chosen Seraphinite, to pay attention to listening to those messages that you're receiving from the angels and recognizing the intuition that you're receiving. Other things that come up around the clairaudience card is to, first of all, that you are receiving messages and information clairaudiently. Now, if you'll remember, there are 4 primary ways that we receive intuitive guidance and information, and one of those is clairaudience, and it means clear hearing. So receiving messages and guidance through any form of hearing, whether that's hearing a voice in your head, in your mind, or through music, hearing information and messages in music, or perhaps you're hearing something on the radio in terms of something that you've been thinking about, and then all of a sudden the answer is there for you as you're listening to the radio. One of the favorite ways that I have for receiving clairaudient information, and it comes through so regularly, is I'll be driving along and I'll be thinking about something and I'll be kind of off in my own world, and often I'll be thinking about things that are troubling me or stressing me out, and I have this song, it's by Bedouin Sound Clash, and it's from 15 years ago, so it's not one that you typically hear on the radio all the time, and it will come up and it's encouragement and guidance that everything is going to be okay. So pay attention to those messages that you're receiving through clairaudient through your clairaudient channel, because your angels are trying to get in touch with you this week. And so not only pay attention to the messages that come through, but also taking action on them as well. So then as we look at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, there are actually 2 cards for you guys this week if you've chosen Seraphinite. We have the Gifts from God card, and this is Archangel Sandalphon. He says, "We angels bring you gifts from your Creator. Open your arms to receive." And then the other card that has come up for you is clear your space. This is Archangel Jophiel, and she says, get rid of clutter, clear the energy around you, and use feng shui. So it's actually kind of appropriate that these 2 cards and these 2 messages come up for you. One, there's the sense that it's time to be cleaning out and purging and getting rid of anything that no longer serves you, and it's really coming through on a physical level. So this is a really great time for spring cleaning. So not only at the beginning of the week are you doing things that are healthful and good for you, kind of getting into that spring energy, but as we move into the weekend, we're starting to see that change happening on a physical level around us as well. So it's a great time to be purging, releasing, letting go, and making room for the new. And as we start to make room for the new, then this messages of gifts from God in abundance start to come in for us. So as we make that room and that space, there's the opportunity for more to be coming in to help create that sense of balance, and freedom and flexibility is also coming up for you as well. So if you've chosen Seraphinite for the week, know that your angels are really strongly around you. There's a lot of guidance and messages and information that they're bringing to you this week. There's encouragement to keep on track with a healthful lifestyle, or to get that into gear, and also to be letting go of anything that no longer serves you, to be paying attention to your physical surroundings, and that there's the opportunity for openness and abundance, and it feels like you're starting to get into, or go even higher into, if you're feeling you're already there, into a place of synchronicity where things are just kind of happening. So you're really getting prepared for that sense of transition and things really moving forward. So as much as you can to stay balanced and also let go of what no longer serves you. All right, so if you've chosen rose quartz for the week, this week we're going to be using Sonia Choquette's Trust Your Vibes Oracle card deck. And we're going to give the cards a shuffle, and we're going to ask our angels what messages are coming up for you this week to help keep you healthy, balanced, centered, and strong, and moving forward in a positive way, along your divine life path. And so there's a card that's fallen out for you, and it says it's not personal. So one of the things that comes up, particularly as we start to increase our sensitivity, is to sometimes we take things on that aren't ours. We feel things more deeply, and ego can kind of step in and say, oh, well, we're feeling this and experiencing this because it's ours, and it takes us down into a kind of a darker place. And the message that's coming up for us for this week is not to take that on. It's not personal. Don't try to make it your own. As you're receiving guidance and messages and information, or even as you're going about your daily life, your daily routine, don't take on other people's stuff. It's not yours. And so there's a lot of energy that's coming up around grounding and shielding. And yet at the same time, the rose quartz crystal is one of self-love, and is very open and nurturing and giving. And so message that's really coming through for you this week is to make sure that you're in a place where you're giving to yourself, but at the same time having healthy boundaries. Okay, so let's see what's coming up for you for Monday and Tuesday. The message that's coming up is downtime. So as we start off the week, it feels like there's perhaps been a lot of energy that you've been putting into projects and situations, and the message that's coming up for you is to take a step back, take a break. And I love the imagery on this card as well. We've got a lot of information coming up around peace. We've got doves. We've got a sense of time and getting getting outside. And also we've got this rat on the rat wheel, on the rat race. So the message that's really coming up for you this week, at the beginning of this week, is to make sure that you're taking that time for yourself and loving and nurturing and caring for yourself. So really make sure that you're blocking that time off for you. You're not overbooking, you're not overscheduling, and doing the things that you need to do in order to maintain your sense of balance. The rose quartz crystal and message is really coming up for you this week, particularly with the first couple of days this week, in terms of self-love, self-care, and doing what you need to do to balance you. Right, let's take a look into the middle of the week. So the message that's coming up for Wednesday and Thursday is laugh. So whenever the message around laugh comes up, it always says to me, it's time to break out of the routine, break out of the mold, do something fun, do something silly, connecting with friends. That can be really important for you during the middle of the week. So after you've taken the time to kind of rebalance yourself at the beginning of the week, make sure that you take the time for social interaction, for having the opportunity for spontaneity is kind of popping in as well. So rather than really structuring and scheduling your week this week, make sure that you have the opportunity open to be able to go off and do something that isn't part of the normal plan and part of the normal routine. And friendship is definitely coming to the forefront for you guys through the middle of the week this week. So really making sure that you're interacting with people. And there's also this sense of openness that's really coming up around you. And as that message comes through around openness, it feels like it's also giving you the opportunity to get into the synchronistic flow of things as well. And so synchronicity is basically kind of like those coincidences where everything starts to happen and fall into place. So the more that you are flexible through the middle of this week, the more opportunity there is for those synchronistic opportunities. All right, and looking for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the message that's coming up for you is claim your boundaries. Now, this is really interesting because that's a really strong theme that we saw with the card that fell out, was claiming your boundaries. So on the one hand, although things are really open and expansive and you're allowing new opportunities to come in, you're taking care of yourself, it's also really important to make sure that you are really clear with yourself and the people around you of what is appropriate for you in terms of taking on relationships, helping other people, and also it's not only coming up around the people around you, but also in terms of the projects that you're taking on this week as well. So make sure that you're not overbooking yourself, overscheduling yourself, but having that time for play and fun, because it really feels like there's a lot of opportunity that's coming up for you this week, and that's really, really exciting. So as we kind of take a look back, we have the message to not take things too personally. So if something happens, it's maybe not what you're wanting to happen, don't see it as a personal affront. Just say, hey, this is what's happening in that person's world or that person's world. I'm not going to take this on as being part of my own problem. Instead, I'm going to focus on me, taking time for myself, doing what I need to do to maintain myself. I'm going to make sure that I have lots of time for play and fun and laughter. And the more that we play and have fun and laugh, the more it raises our energy and vibration, and we get into that place where we're passionate about our lives and what's happening. And then also moving into a place where we're really clear about what works for us and what doesn't, and really kind of asserting and affirming those boundaries. So there's actually a lot of information that's coming up for you guys if you've chosen rose quartz around scheduling and not taking on too much responsibility. So being really clear with yourself around what you can do with that. Okay. So if you've chosen Aquamarine for the week, this is your reading. So I'm going to start by giving the cards a shuffle. We're going to be using Doreen Virtue's Magical Mermaids and Dolphins Oracle card deck. And you know, a lot of the messages that are coming up for you guys already this week are around clear communication and taking action. So it feels like things are really starting to come together for you this week, and there's a sense of kind of that you've recently been building yourself up to take flight. So that's a lot of the feeling that's coming up for you. Let's see. Whoops, that card. Nope. No, he kind of hid back in the deck. I thought since the last two guys kind of had cards falling out that maybe you guys would too. Okay, so looking at the card for Monday and Tuesday, the message that's coming up for you is rest. You've been working hard. Take a nap and get some rest. So it's really interesting because all three of the crystals this week have really had self-care kind of messages for the beginning of the week. So Monday and Tuesday this week, if you've chosen Aquamarine, it's all about rest. It's taking time to take care of yourself, take a breather, relax, and really recharge and re-energize your battery. So even though there's a lot of forward movement and action that's coming up for you this week, they're saying, hey, make sure that you're taking care of you so that you have the energy that you need in order to take those action steps. Looking at, and actually also coming in with that message is to make sure that you're aware of your sleep hygiene. So with that, turning off, all electronics an hour or 2 hours before you go to bed at night, and not taking work to bed with you, perhaps not reading in your bedroom. It feels like sleep is really, really important for you for that self-care. All right, looking at Wednesday and Thursday, the message that's coming up is explore your options. It's time to look at other possibilities. It's a good time to make changes. And this makes a lot of sense to the energy that was coming up for you guys this week, is that things are really starting to open up. And as we open up, it's important that we look at different options and different opportunities that are available to us. You are definitely coming into a time of change. And so with that, rather than feeling like you're being pinned down into a specific change or even into a specific place in your life, the encouragement that's really coming through for you this week is to look outside of what you think is possible, and kind of break outside of that, the framework that you've perhaps been dealing with. The other message that's coming up is it really feels like you're becoming unstuck. So if you've been feeling like you've been stuck or you've been hitting your head against the wall, the message that's coming up is to take a step back and look at things from a broader perspective rather than getting caught down in the nitty-gritty. So Wednesday and Thursday of this week, take a step back, take a look, survey everything, all aspects of your life, and see where you can be making change and adjustment. So there is a lot of change and forward movement coming up for you this week. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I love this for you guys. The message that's coming through is ready, set, go. Now is the perfect moment to dive in and embrace your heart's desire. So again, we've got lots of forward movement and momentum and energy coming up for you guys this week. And basically, as we move into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, universe is saying, all right, you've got everything that you need, let's go. The car's packed, we're gonna do it. So this is really exciting. And if we kind of take a look at the progression for the week, the beginning of the week, you're really being encouraged to rest, relax, recharge your batteries, get everything kind of together, and the car trip packing analogy is really coming up. So if you're planning a trip for this week, this is a really great time to do it. So going back to this car trip planning analogy, Monday, Tuesday, you guys, you're resting, relaxing, and you're kind of thinking about what you might need to take with you. Wednesday and Thursday, you're exploring the options of what you can be doing. So rather than saying, okay, I'm going to make this trip, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, they're saying, well, no, what else can we throw into this journey to make it even more fun and exciting? And then as we move into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, car is packed and you're on the road, you're on the go, go. So nothing's going to kind of stop you back or hold you back as we kind of move into the weekend. And it feels like that energy is going to be maintained through the coming week. And that's really exciting. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me for this week's weekly Psychic and Angel card reading. We had 3 different crystals. As with the crystal choices, feel free to choose more than one. We had a lot of really similar messages coming up this week, particularly at the beginning of the week. So I think what we can kind of say for the beginning of the week is it's time to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Downtime, rest, relax, do what you need to do to maintain yourself. And as we move into the rest of the week, that's where we started to see things kind of shifting and changing for everybody. But there's a lot that's coming up, and it feels like it's a really fabulous week. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope you have a fabulous week.